Morning guys, I'm coming to you again in the middle of an English heat wave. I am sweating it out at not even midday. It is absolutely boiling here at the moment. Anyway, I was having a quick catch up on some of the more recent gaming news. I've been quite busy last few days doing various bits and pieces, but I came across this article. It's been a pretty slow gaming news wise anyway. But I came across this article through N4G, which you can get some very interesting articles, let's say, pop up on there. I've never heard of this website. It looks bottom of the bottom, I'm afraid, skewed and reviewed. I'm sure it's like a very one man job or something. But this is this is about Battlefield 5, and I haven't really looked up the controversy too much myself. I know it's about female characters being in the game. I know that a lot of hardcore Battlefield fans do not like it, with some quite valid reasons, to be honest, i.e. that women didn't participate in frontline battle in World War II. It just didn't happen. And the thing is, Battlefield's been a very, what do you say? Quite close to reality. Not a simulator, but they've been quite true to how wars have been waged. That's the whole thing about the game. It's been very watered down though, especially in Battlefield 5, with the introduction of that hated mode by myself anyway, and I'm sure that a lot of people are getting sick of it, Battle Royale, because Battle Royale has to be in every game now. So no game is unique, every game is Battle Royale. Anyway, let's just jump into it. Oh, it's by a woman. It's by a woman. Surprise, surprise. It's by a female gamer. I'm assuming she's a gamer. Let's not judge. What is behind the Battlefield 5 controversy over female characters and why I believe it is misplaced? I will give you credit, Lauren. She said why I believe it's misplaced. She's not making judgments straight away. Good girl. Battlefield 5 is set to release in October of this year. Ooh, month for my birthday. I probably won't be getting it though. Sorry guys, I'm not really into shooters these days. I was a Call of Duty guy a long time ago, back in Black Ops. I think Black Ops was the last one I played, and is already generating controversy thanks to EA DICE's inclusion of playable female characters. The development has led to a call to boycott the game under the unifying hashtag of #NotMyBattlefield. The problem with such a call to arms, however, is that despite the codependent relationship between creators and fans, Battlefield has never belonged to any one group. No, I mean, technically it belongs to the company that produces it, DICE and EA, because they own the rights. But as a franchise, you point out the codependent relationship between creators and fans, because fans are the people who buy the game, funnily enough, and they're the people who fund the people who create the game. That's how they get paid at the end of the day. So they need to keep fans happy. Looking at you, Star Wars, as well. If you don't keep the fans happy, they won't buy your product, and you won't make money, and then you'll fail. I mean, for me, the female characters being in it isn't a massive deal. The main thing is that the game is good, that it plays well, and that it's well polished. If all those things are done and there's still female characters, I still think it's okay. I mean, it's infringing slightly. I know the whole call of SJWs, forcing women into games, etc. It doesn't need to be there. It's unnecessary. I understand the call to arms. I wouldn't boycott the game. I mean, if it's a good game, still buy it. You're still going to enjoy it. But I understand people seeing this as like an intrusion on gaming by SJWs. I completely understand that. If it belongs to anyone, it has to belong to everyone. No, it doesn't. It belongs to. It doesn't belong to anyone. But like I said, if you're a fan and you're buying the game, you're giving the company money. If you don't buy the game, they're not going to get money. So while a vocal minority Again, I don't know if this is minority. I think it's quite a large section of the hardcore Battlefield fan base. Like the Star Wars fan base always gets called a minority when it's the proper fans. Bellows behind their screens into the void of the internet. They must learn to accept that not everything is for you. You being the universal you. Well, you see, again, we come to this point of it is a product designed for fans. If you are a fan, the product should probably be designed to benefit you so that you will purchase it. That's just good business practice. If the inclusion of female resistance fighters and the mere ability to craft your avatar in the female form offends you so deeply, then maybe this version of the game simply isn't for you, and that's okay. Alright, I agree with you there. If you don't want to buy it because there's females in it, don't buy it. You can take a stance on it. If it's a good game, I'd wait to see the reviews anyway, to be honest. I tend to do that now unless it's one of my hardcore franchises. Then just hold off on buying it until you see what it's like. It might, I mean, the whole Battle Royale mode kind of scares me anyway. GM of DICE, Oscar Gabrielson, echoed the sentiment, stressing that player choice and female playable characters are here to stay, and suggesting that anyone upset by the notion shouldn't buy the game. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh my. The GM of DICE, Oscar. The GM of DICE is telling people that they shouldn't buy the game. That's not how you market again. That's not how you sell. Oscar, don't tell people not to buy your product. That's not how you tell. I understand your sentiment slightly, but you can't tell them not to buy the game. There's better arguments than that. And I mean, I'm pretty sure if Battlefield 5 flops and they put it on the having implemented female playable characters, they're not going to put it in the next game. So I don't know why they're making that promise. This here that's SJW speak. I'm guessing Oscar is. I'm judging here. I'm prejudging on what I've seen. From what he said here, that's SJW. I'm all over it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Women are here to stay. So let's dive into this a bit. Why are these fans so upset by the representation of female characters? Their claim is that it is historically inaccurate. Yes, it is very historically inaccurate. And a desperate attempt by developers to appeal to the SJWs or social justice warriors of the world. Yes, I believe it is. Because why else would you put female characters in there? They're not in any other of the other games. They never used to be in Call of Duty. They never used to be in Battlefield, and they did absolutely fine. It's just seeping into society and entertainment where you have to have women, you have to have people of colour, you have to have gay people, lesbian people, transgender. Otherwise, you're somehow bigoted. I don't know why. In a way, this is true. There you go, you've agreed. Thank you. EA has been trying over Battlefield's last 2 or 3 iterations to appeal to a wider audience, and that is what is killing it. I would guess that's why it is dying. Appealing to a wider audience does not always work. You have to be very, very careful about that, because you might alienate your original fans and then not really gain any proper fans anyway. The game has moved away from the simulation style of earlier releases to a more fast-paced, high-action gameplay. And this is why I feel that the brand's getting diluted. I mean, it's benefiting from Call of Duty not having very good showings recently. But if it's stuck to a simulation style of gameplay, it's going to appeal to a more niche section of gamers, where they're just, at the moment, they're just going up against Call of Duty, and you're giving yourself competition that you didn't need. This is likely a reaction to Battlefield's main competition, Activision's Call of Duty. So yes, in a way, EA DICE is trying to appeal to SJWs. But in reality, they're trying to appeal to everyone. No, I think they're just trying to appeal to SJWs by including the females. I mean, let's look at it. Including females, who does that bring on board? Who's going to buy your game because you've put females in it? Probably no one. Maybe a couple of SJWs, but it's a very small percentage. You're not going to make very much extra money from that, extra cash. And even girls who play these games, they don't care, well, on the majority, they don't care if they're playing as a male or a female. I mean, I don't particularly care if I'm playing as a male or a female, but it just doesn't make sense to have females in it. And appealing to everyone means you appeal to no one. And it just becomes, the brand becomes so diluted, the game becomes so generic that nobody's going to want to buy it. As they expand multiplayer and co-op modes in Battlefield 5 Battle Royale, it stands to reason, simply from a developer standpoint, that they give players the opportunity to craft the avatar in their own image, whether it be male or female. I don't do this. I don't know many people who do this. A lot of people don't craft the avatar in their own image. I mean, I might have done it when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something. But as an adult, I don't want to put myself in the game anymore. Usually people make crazy looking avatars. But about that historically inaccurate bit, while many countries did not allow women to fight on the front lines, the Soviet Union certainly did. Okay, then make the Soviet, if you're playing as the Soviet Union, you can have females. There you go, that's historically accurate. To the tune of 800,000 women, that's wow. Okay, you do realise that that number is infinitesimally small to the army that the Soviet Union had. I don't think you understand. I think I might have to Google this. Okay, let's quickly Google this. What was the size of the Soviet Union's army in World War II? Soviet territory. It's a steamroller. What? Size. Does it have size? Oh, this is not. I thought I was going to get a simple answer. Google. Here we go. Approximately 23% of the male population of the Russian Empire were mobilized. Oh, that's 1917. That's not World War II. Damn it, Google, you failed me this time. Anyway, I mean, if someone else can come up with an answer for that. I know you're going into tens of millions of fighters. 800,000 women is basically nothing. A handful of these women were in fact some of the deadliest snipers of the war. Women like I can't pronounce Russian names, skip that. Also known as Lady Death. Yeah, that's yeah. Good on her. I mean, okay, that doesn't prove your point really. Women in the United States may not have been on the front line, but 350,000 served as uniformed auxiliaries during World War II. Again, the US Army was a lot bigger than this. It's a tiny, tiny percentage. You're just picking at little tiny strands to try and justify women being in there. Overall, when it shouldn't really be, if you're being historically accurate. Women risked their lives as spies, resistance fighters throughout the war, making the single-player war story of a female resistance fighter in Norway fairly true to the spirit of women fighting wherever they could find the opportunity. This I agree with. Women did fight in other ways, and they did do subterfuge. There were resistance fighters, but on the mass battlefields, keyword there, battlefield, it is the name of the game, they were not present, and if they were, it was a minute proportion of the battlefield. You're talking like 1% or something. Frontline fighters were generally all men. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but if fans of Battlefield are going to accept the historical inaccuracies of fast-moving tanks, I think that's more a gameplay thing. No one wants to sit in a tank for 20 minutes to get across part of the map. And small arms fire taking down aircraft, otherwise they'd be overpowered. That's a balancing issue. They're going to have to accept the historically supported notion that women can fight, and did in fact do so in World War II, and have done so throughout human history. They can fight. They have not done so throughout human history. Maybe in a very small number of cases they have, but throughout human history, men have always been the ones that go to war. Women have played a vital role in human history, but going to war is not one of them. the fact that you can say that just shows you're at the point of giving up now. Okay. While it may not be highlighted in your average social studies textbook, oh god, social studies, no. It's easily researched and verified. Is it? Please, it's easily researched and verified, but you cannot therefore put the information in this article that you have spent time writing. Are the missions and scenarios you can place your female avatar in historically accurate to the exact situations women found themselves in during in World War II? That remains to be seen. No. But ultimately it doesn't really matter. As Gabrielson said himself, above all, our games must be fun. Okay, agreed. Agreed, they must be fun. That is above all. That is the be-all and end-all of a game. It must be fun. At the end of the day, it's a video game, not a college history lecture. My advice to those upset by the inclusion of women is not play as a woman, a radical notion I know, or play any number of the previously released Battlefield iterations. This is going to be a weird one. I don't completely disagree with you, Lauren. It's Lauren Bycroft. I don't completely disagree. I don't completely disagree with Oscar either. I mean, I don't think the reason that the female characters have been introduced to Battlefield, I don't think there's a proper reason for it other than SJWs and respect women. But I mean, it doesn't make a massive difference if the game is still good and it doesn't deride from the game. But part of the enjoyment of the game for some people, some hardcore Battlefield fans, is that it is one of the more historically accurate war games. And to put women in there, you're going to be killing women on the battlefield. I mean, yeah, sure, it's fair, but some people just don't want to do that. And they're certainly entitled to vocalize that. They are the fans, they've bought previous iterations, they're the lifeblood of the franchise. Fans are always the lifeblood of a franchise. And if they don't like something, they'll say, and you should listen and take note. Not just say, don't buy my product. I mean, that's really poor display from the GM of DICE. They shouldn't play the game. And suggesting by anyone upset. Oh, he suggested, okay, this is not a quote. I don't know if he directly said that. That might be Lauren putting words into his mouth, to be honest. But, yeah. It's not a college history lecture, but that's what a lot of people liked about the previous versions of the game. And just telling them, oh, well, you don't matter anymore. We're going to put women in it for regardless, because who wants it? I mean, there might be... You might say there's a vocal minority who don't want women in the game, but who even asked for them to be put in there in the first place? I'd be interested to see what percentage of people play as the female avatars as well in this game. It'd be an interesting stat, but one I don't think we will ever see. Anyway, thanks for joining me again, guys. That's a brief overview of the Battlefield controversy. I mean, with the channel, I've kind of leaned towards... noting some, I guess, SJW, far left things creeping into gaming. That's kind of what it's becoming. It's just evolving quite naturally, to be honest, what I'm interested in, what I want to talk about. I will go into some of my personal loves, I guess, of gaming as well, personal games and that. It just depends what I feel like doing at the time. Oh, I just also had a couple of other articles up. Ni no Kuni 2 is broken and no one knows how to fix it. I am having this problem. Anyone who's playing this on PS4 Pro, you're not going mad. When you go into the menu, I can't remember which menu it is actually. Oh, the tactic tweaker and the map as well has this problem. When you go into it, the buttons just stop working. The game just freezes. And I thought it was me going mad for a while. Apparently it's happening just to PS4 Pros mostly. But if you're using the map, if you go to the local map and then go to the world map and quit from the world map, it will let you get out. But for some reason it won't let you quit from the local map, which is a good tip. It's really annoying me actually. I'm getting towards the end game as well. I've really enjoyed the game. A lot of people have been saying it doesn't live up to the first one. I didn't play the first one, but I've been really enjoying it. It is a little on the easy side though. And just for another little one, we've got Fortnite here. Fortnite style battle royale mode not currently planned for Crytek's new shooter. Thank God, thank God, thank God. I don't think we need a battle royale mode in another game. Please do not do that. There is far too many on the market. So Crytek's got a game coming out called Hunt Showdown. Is unique in the shooter space with its combination of PvP and PvE elements. It's a unique game, and you want them to make it not unique by putting Battle Royale in it. Thankfully, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but thankfully they basically say we could put it in if we wanted to, but not at the moment, which I agree with. No more Battle Royale, please. And also as well, just speaking on the football, if I hear one more person, one more Englishman say it's coming home to me, I think I'm going to punch them. I'm as excited as the next guy, but that phrase is just, I've heard it far too many times now. Anyway, on that note, guys, I'm going to probably lie down in the sun with a cold rum and coke and while away the day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.